Hi, I'm Marshall from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Esper Affinity. We've been trying to make Esper Affinity a little bit better in the meta for quite a while, and there was a suggestion on my last Esper Affinity video by None of Your Business that I thought was really interesting, and that was to try Lotus Petal in the deck. Now, Lotus Petal is generally a card you want in like a turbo or combo deck of some sort, and it's generally not something you want in a mid-range deck like this, but I actually think that it could be okay here. The main reasons is that the biggest problem to our deck is that we do not have the speed that we need to deal with decks like Mono Red Madness or Red Rally, even though we have one of the best draw engines in the entire format, with Cryogen Relic being picked up by our core Skyfishers or our Glint Hawks. We almost never run out of cards and very often lose the game with 4 to 7 cards in hand. So we don't need to solve the card advantage problem, which is why the card disadvantage of Lotus Petal I think might be okay in this deck because of the speed that it offers. Not just because it gives us 1 mana, which is of course helpful, but it also gives us an additional affinity count, essentially giving us 2 or even more mana to work with for just a single card. So our goal here is to play a very turbo affinity deck that then later has this very powerful draw engine. We are still playing 20 lands, and we've thrown in 3 Lotus Petals so that we can quickly ramp into our Refurbished Familiars, Ultra Monitors, and Mirror Enforcers. Thoughtcasts as well will keep our hand stocked for really cheap. And then I've also shifted so many of our 2-drops. Usually our 2-drop slot is stacked. All we've kept is Cryogen Relics, Core Skyfishers, and 1 Cast Down, instead opting for mostly 1-drop cards. Of course, the Glint Hawks, but also 2 each of Sewer Valence Cam, Grim Bauble, Candy Trail, and Nile Spellbomb. So I'm hoping that we're going to be able to have some of these draws that are really, really aggressive, putting 2 to 4 creatures on the board by turn 3 that then just absolutely beat our opponent before they can even recover. And then if they do somehow stabilize, we have a really powerful draw engine for the late game. So that is the goal here. In our sideboard, we have Envelop and Duress to help out with Dust to Dust. We have Blue Elemental Blasts for red matchups, Fairy Macabre for the graveyard matchups, Shrivel to wipe the board, and Navigator's Compass for a little bit of life gain. So let's take this for a league and see how we do.
Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video.
All right, this hand does not really exemplify what we're trying to do in this video, but I think it's good enough. We have lands, we have all of our colors of mana, and we have a really powerful draw engine if we draw a Cryogen Relic, but we also just have a lot of other artifacts in the deck that we could pick up to give us a little bit extra advantage. Don't love seeing Tangled Islet. That means it's probably Turbo Fog or Persistent Petitioners. That would be a lot more okay. But Turbo Fog could be a tough one to get through. Demir Aqueduct, yeah, that makes me think Turbo Fog. And if all we draw are lands, that's going to be rough. I mean, I could start playing Glint Hawks and Skyfishers picking up lands, but that actually sets us back from this Enforcer, so I'd rather just play my lands normally. Also, if we're going to be against Turbo Fog, then we're going to need some better stuff anyway. Like Grim Bauble is not going to kill anything regardless, so I might as well just play it here because they're going to have no creatures. And then Skyfisher still lets me Enforcer next turn for 3 mana. I think it's actually probably better to just wait till next turn, play the Enforcer, and then play all these other things. Definitely not a favored matchup for us. We don't really have a great way to break through other than sideboard like Duresses and stuff like that, so we might just have to hope they run out of fogs naturally. There's the Lotus Petal just in time. Maybe not so much, but here's an Enforcer, Skyfisher. I mean, I guess we just pick up Petal, replay it. Glint Hawk, pick up Petal, replay it. Amazing. We'll go for a Surveil in our upkeep. They're going to discard a land and a Muddle the Mixture. We will crack Grim Bauble, Candy Trail. I think Glint Hawk is not really what we need at this point. I'll take the Candy Trail, though. Like, more creatures doesn't do a lot. I'd rather, like, Refurbs to attack the hand. I mean, we'll keep Cryogen and Thoughtcast, because it's just draws us more cards into some other stuff. Play a seat and pass. Embrace the Paradox. We'll crack this Candy Trail. We don't really need this Lotus Petal anymore. I discard. Let's go for a Thoughtcast, Cryogen Relic, swing for 8, flashback a Moment's Peace. I guess they discarded that for turn, I didn't even realize. Play another Cryogen Relic and a Monitor. We will swing for 11, not quite lethal if they want to take it. They did Fog last turn though, so I expect a Fog, probably a Tangle, yep. Ideally we draw some more creatures with our Cryogens here that I can still pressure despite losing all of these guys being tapped. We do get a Refurb. I'm going to crack another Cryogen off on the off chance we get a Enforcer. Nope. I know we started with 4 lands, but we've drawn very many. 5 additional lands. No, 6 additional lands. They go for Embrace the Paradox, Growth Chamber, discard an island. They foretell a card. Skyfisher's fine. It would have been better last turn, because then we could have actually bounced some of these to untap them, essentially, whereas now that doesn't matter. Attack the Refurb. Play a Skyfisher. I think we bounce the Cryogen. They have too many cards for one Refurb to be relevant, whereas if I draw cards off the Cryogen, I could even draw, like, 2 Refurbs, maybe. I mean, we got a Glint Hawk for a Refurb, sure, plus a Monitor. Cast their Behold. Discards a Moment's Peace. Monitor, Bridge, pass. And they have a Weather the Storm. That's pretty good. And another one. No, they Arcane Denial one of them to gain 3 cards, up to 28. They just pass, discard a Barons. I mean, they have 28 life. We don't even have lethal, but we're going to attack with everything. If they want to tangle, that's fine. Flashback a Moment's Peace. Play a Cryogen Relic, Thoughtcast, Spell Bomb. A little late, but it could still be okay. We get a Refurb, play a Spell Bomb. Should have played the Refurb first. I think I just misclicked, plus I wanted to hold up a black for the Spell Bomb, but whatever. Get rid of a Bajuka Bog. Heritage Reclamation on the Spell Bomb. Well, we'll blow up their graveyard in response. They go for a Stream of Thought, replicated a couple times. Mirror Enforcer. Let's crack a Cryogen. This is definitely a matchup where the slower, more interactive version would have been way better. So of course we get this immediately when we change our deck. They go for a Lorien Revealed, Bajuka Bog. We also used to play a Raven's Crime in our deck, and I probably should put that back in because we have so many lands and it's incredible in this type of a matchup. It's actually like single-handedly wins you the game if we just make them discard like 6 cards. They go for another Lorien Reveal. They go for another Lorien Revealed. We'll attack with everything, get tangled again. Refurbished Familiar. They Behold the Multiverse and then Growth Spiral in response. To bounce a land they can discard. They can definitely Stream of Thought for lethal if they just want to do that. Instead, they pass the turn. I drew a Surveillance Cam. I should have actually flashed it in to untap 2 of these to attack, but let's be honest, it doesn't really matter. Wouldn't have been lethal, and there's no world where they don't just kill us next turn, I don't think. I mean, I guess they don't have it. Like, they could have already done it if they had it, so I should have gone for it, but they go for a Growth Spiral. Alright, they cast Stream of Thought, and we lose. We get Duress and Fairy Macabre. Envelop only hits Lorien and Stream of Thought. That doesn't seem very good. I honestly think we cut some Cryogen Relics. I really think if we just go really, really fast, we can maybe get there. This one, I mean, not really fast enough. I don't think this is going to work. This is kind of more what we want, but no good mana. Like, this one doesn't work either. Here we go. I guess we're getting rid of Thoughtcast Cryogen. Vault, Lotus Petal. So I could play a Refurb on turn 1. I don't think that's worthwhile. I think I'd rather play both of these on turn 2. Yeah, because I can do this, and then Refurb, and then Ultra Monitor. They discard a Weather the Storm. So now we have a 4-turn clock starting on turn 2. It's pretty good, pretty aggressive. Obviously, it's not like, oh, they're dead right away, but still. Bounce land, they cycle a Lorien, so they got 2 lands in hand. Fairy Macabre. I really wish we had double black, because I would absolutely just hardcast this Fairy Macabre, but we'll just have to pass. They pass the turn. We get a Duress. I mean, I think we do that pre-combat, just in case they have, like, a Tangle and as their only fog, and I can take it before we attack. They have a Growth Spiral for an Aqueduct, so they're going to have 2 islands in hand. Heritage Reclamation, Arcane Denial, Behold. They have no fogs. I mean, Heritage Reclamation slows us down, I think, too much if they just blow this up. Unfortunately, that means they have pretty good card draw to find a fog, but we pretty much got to go with this, I think. So swing here, and if we're lucky and they don't find any fogs, then we could kill them in 2 turns. They're going to foretell the Behold, Glint Hawk, swing for 5. We'll cast a Glint Hawk, see if they want to Arcane Denial it. Ooh, appears they don't. So we'll just Refurb, make them discard something. They're going to probably Behold in response. They kept 1 on top. Discard a Bog. Growth Chamber, bounce an island. And they just pass. Spell Bomb. Well, I think we just attack for 5 here, so that if we get tangled, we don't lose all of our guys. Yep. And I think we're just going to Spell Bomb and blow up their graveyard right away. Even though it's nothing relevant, I'd like to draw a card here. Could be relevant, like a Candy Trail. Plus, we already have a Fairy Macabre. We see Razortide Bridge, no. Refurb, yes. Play an island, crack a candy trail, swing for 2. I'll play a refurb. They have embraced the paradox. It's pretty good. Puts this island in, brainstorm, discard a forest, and we'll pass. Lorien revealed, growth chamber. Really wish we... I took Metallic Rebuke out of our sideboard right at the end before we started, and I kind of wish that we had that because I could just like counter something here. Well, let's swing for 4 here. They have a moment's peace. I get to Skyfisher the refurb, use that on them, and then Macabre the moment's peace away. They have another brainstorm, discards a bog, cycle Ash Barrens for an island, Heritage Reclamation, our Vault of Whispers. Sure. Now I really can't cast this fairy Macabre. Get rid of the moment's peace and hope that it's their only fog. Swing, and look, it's not. Play a bridge and pass. And they have embraced the paradox. Fun stuff. They're going to go for a small stream of thought, mill for 8. They put the moment's peace back into their deck, so they definitely have another fog in hand. Thought cast. We get another refurb. Swing for 4. They're going to brainstorm. Fog. Play another refurb. They're going to brainstorm. Discard a Tangled Islet. Growth Spiral. And then Arcane Denial it. I think that's a bit of desperation. They're looking for a fog. I mean, I'm hoping. You get to draw 3 here. We get a Thought cast, which they're going to Arcane Denial. Okay. I mean, it lets us draw 2 either way, just not on this turn, which is fair. They have a Tangle. I'll play a Vault and pass. We would like to draw our 2 now. They foretell a card, Ancient Den. Start with the Candy Trail. Mistvault Bridge, we don't need. Mirror Enforcer, we don't need more guys. Let's crack a Candy Trail. Refurb. Let's play that. Behold the Multiverse. And then Brainstorm. Discard a Forest. Play a Spell Bomb. They're going to Arcane Denial that. Swing for 4. They have a Tangle. And then a Growth Spiral. We'll draw 2 here. They're going to go for another Stream of Thought for just 8. I assume so that they can shuffle in a bunch of their fogs and have a better chance at drawing them. They muddle the mixture for a Tangle, I would guess. Moment's Peace. Yeah, I guess that's better. See, if we had a counterspell, we could just kill them right here. We do not. Swing with a couple refurbs. Glint Hawk. Pick up a refurb. Make them discard a card. Ultra Monitor, and we'll pass. They discard a Heritage Reclamation. Their other card's more important. Lorien revealed, Growth Spiral, and they Arcane Denial it, which means they have another fog at hand because they can't cast the Moment's Peace from the yard, and they wouldn't have tapped out otherwise. Mirror Enforcer. Oh, well, that's interesting. They didn't, actually. They miscounted, maybe? Or they were banking on drawing something from the Arcane Denial. I guess we won that game. Alright, I honestly think Envelop is good enough just to counter a Lorien reveal, because we know that's going to be good at some point. It's probably better than, like, a couple of these Enforcers or something. I definitely thought we were going to lose that game. They only have 5 minutes on the clock. Do I keep the double Thoughtcast hand? We're supposed to be pressuring them quickly. Envelop's not going to stop anything early. It's close, but I think we want a different hand. We'll keep this one. I think we'll get rid of the seat. Maybe the spell bomb isn't important enough. No, I think we'll do the seat here. We know we're going to end up drawing a bunch of lands anyway, and they do nothing on their first turn. Assume that was a mistake, but maybe not. Here's a Cryogen Relic. We get a Cam. They were tapping as if they wanted to like Heritage Reclamation our vault. No, they just go for a Foretell. Okay. Refurb's really nice actually, because I get to... I think we just do that with Glint Hawk here. For the pressure. I could draw a land, which would be nice. But I could have Thoughtcast and had another shot to draw a land, but I think the extra pressure is probably more valuable. They go for the Behold. Only reason to do it now would be to hit like a land drop. They just discarded a land, so that's interesting. But here's a Growth Chamber. Goldmire Bridge. Okay. I think we're just going to Monitor plus Spell Bomb. Surveillance Cams can actually be pretty helpful against a Tangle, so that's good to know. And this is 7 damage. The Heritage Reclamation, our Vault of Whispers. That is pretty irrelevant, honestly, especially since we drew a land here. So they're going to take this, which means that my Skyfisher is going to make it so we have lethal next turn. For that reason, they're going to Arcane Denial it. Okay, fair enough. I tapped the way I did because I was going to pick up the refurb and replay it. Now, obviously, it looks a little silly because I wasn't able to play a Thoughtcast, but that's okay. We get our Thoughtcast here anyway. Petal can actually maybe be kind of helpful here. All right, swing with the team. Put them to 2. Vault. Petal. Start with a Thoughtcast. Refurb. They're going to Brainstorm. And I was just about to cast more, but realized that we probably don't want to play too much into a Weather the Storm. There it is. I mean, they're already gaining 15, but let's not let them gain even more. Arcane Denial. I guess by playing a Monitor, we would have offset the same amount of damage because they would have probably taken 3 next turn from it, but whatever. Pachuca Bog. They're going to Foretell in their end step. It's the right time to do it. Hit for 9. Moment's Peace. So that's when we're going to crack the Spell Bomb. Let's make them discard a card first. Let's play a Cryogen, see if we get our last refurb or a way to pick it up. No. So let's just go for a Monitor and pass the turn. Cycle a Lorien for an island. Muddle the Mixture. Finds a Tangle. Spell Bomb to get rid of the Moment's Peace. We'll draw a card. I'm not afraid. Envelop. 1, 2, 3. I can untap 3 of these. So this is... I have to attack with everything for it to be lethal. Then they Tangle them. Yeah, I think we just force the Tangle out. And then with Surveillance Cams, we just untap a bunch of these guys. So we can attack next turn. They're at under almost 2 minutes, and they're like struggling to cast a Stream of Thought for 2 here. I don't think there's any reason to envelop this, so we will not. Shuffle that Tangle in. Pass. Let's flash in a Cam. Untap a Monitor. Flash in a Cam. Untap a Monitor. Crack a Cam. Untap a Glinthawk, and then let's attack for 8. Skyfisher, back a Refurb, make them discard one of their 2 cards, which is a Growth Spiral, Candy Trail. We'll keep a Glinthawk, but we're going to hold up this Envelop. Try to counter a Lorien Revealed. Behold the Multiverse, they got it. This could also just throw off the math of a Stream of Thought. Cycle a Lorien for a Tangled Islet. Crack a Candy Trail. Swing for 7 here. They have another Tangle. Glinthawk, a Refurb, make him discard a card. Oh, they have an Arcane Denial. So be it. Let's crack this just to see if we get another way to bring back our Refurb. Take their last card. We did not, but that's okay. Let's see. They want us to draw cards, so I think we say no at this point. We don't really need to. They have to draw Fogs every turn, and they're trying to mill us out. So I think we just stop drawing cards as well. They are down to 1 minute left. We have a Spell Bomb. Attack for 7. They got a Moment's Peace, but we got the Spell Bomb. Lucky us. They're going to pass. Let's Spell Bomb. Sure, we'll draw this one as a treat. Swing. They have a Moment's Peace. Let's Skyfisher pick up the Refurb, make them discard their last card, which I assume is the Stream of Thought they've been dancing around this entire time. And somehow we win the game. Let's see if we can have a more normal match here, but this hand looks great. We're missing black mana, but we do have tons of card draw here. We're against Lava Dart, Faithless Looting already. So this is definitely one of the dreaded matchups that we're supposed to try to be a little faster for. Oh, never mind. Well, it's another dreaded matchup. Kiln Fiend. Oh my gosh, do I have to play a Skyfisher just to have a blocker? Because if they have double Lava Dart, they have double Lava Dart, so that's plus 6 damage. So I could be taking 7, but it's only 5 power on this. So like a Temur Battle Rage would be 14. Yeah, Temur Battle Rage plus like anything would be lethal. But I feel like playing a Skyfisher and then chumping is not going to be good enough for us. Because then we're making it so we actually can't play a Monitor the following turn. I think we just have to accept that we're dead if they have the right cards and just play a Cryogen here. We set ourselves back way too much with the Skyfisher. And if we don't die here, you know, we have double blocker next turn. We might be okay. We'll just accept that we're probably dead. Metamorphose is pretty good. Free trigger, so that's 3 power. Ancestral Anger, so 6. Rite of Flame, so 8. There's the Temur Battle Rage, so that's lethal. And that's lethal through a Skyfisher, like double Lava Dart they didn't even have to use. So they got us there. We do get 4 Blue Blasts, 2 Duress. I mean, Macabre can be okay for the Lava Dart. Not sure that's really necessary. Envelop hits the Ancestral Anger, the Rite of Flame, and the Faithless. Grimbauble can hit a Kiln Fiend, so that's good. Surveillance Cam would be incredible. I think we cut like our top end. Spell Bomb doesn't really do that much. A little bit there, maybe, but I think I'd rather just keep these other ones. We don't have a ton of time to draw, is why I'm cutting these. Frankly, I think Compass might just be better than like... Maybe I cut all the Cryogens. We just don't have any time for that. Thoughtcast is cheaper and better, actually. I think that's the case. All right, we have a lot of sideboard cards to help here. Double Bauble. Yeah, Double Bauble's good against Kiln Fiend. Even if they have a Festival Crasher, I could Double Bauble to kill it. And then we have an Envelop, so I think we'll keep... They keep a 7-card hand. That's scary. They're supposed to mulligan really low. There's a Faithless Looting. Discards Mutagenic Growth. That's one concern for the Baubles. And Ancestral Anger. I'm going to hold up an Envelop in case they go for another looting or something. So I think I just play this bridge and pass. Mountain, and they plot a highway robbery. Okay. Compass is decent just because it gives us our white mana. Let's do a Candy Trail into a Thoughtcast probably, though. Ooh, double Blue Blast. Obviously keeping them both. Bit awkward because if I draw them, I can't actually use more than just an Envelop or one of them. So I can't use two here, but that's kind of the same way either way. So let's just get it out of the way. Draw some cards. I think I'm going to let the highway robbery resolve, but the Festival Crasher we're going to try to counter here. That worked. Ooh, another Thoughtcast. Yes, please. Into Ancient Den. Let's go for a Duress. See what else they're packing. Yep, Apostle's Blessing. Double Forge Chanter. And then a Manamorphose. Let's take the Blessing for sure. Forge Chanter is not the scariest, but it is harder to kill just because the prowess and, of course, the ward. But I think they just cast one here. I'd probably blast it. And then they play another one. Okay. But their last card is a Manamorphose. So I can double Bauble this. Or I could just blue blast it. I think we double Bauble and then we hold the blast for something else. I can pay 4 on the ward. That's fine. So kill that and then pass. If they go for a looting, I can envelop it. Robbery, I probably actually want to envelop. I could still also blue blast if I want because I have this compass. But I'm going to let a Manamorphose go. It's just a 1-for-1. Now they're looting. I'll let that go, I think. It's not card advantage or anything, just selection. Discards 2 mountains. I mean, that's pretty good. Utra Monitor. All right, let's crack a Candy Trail, play an Utra Monitor, and just pass with a blue blast up. Festival Crasher, we will counter. They're going to pass to us. Let's swing for 3. Glint Hawk. We're going to bring back a Grim Bauble. We've seen that it doesn't kill a lot of their stuff, but I can always use 2 Baubles like we did before, or I'm sure they're playing Kiln Fiend, and it'll catch that. Morphos into Robbery, sack a land, Ancestral Anger, our Glint Hawk, just to cycle it, and again, and they concede. All right, we had enough interaction. They do have Ancestral Anger, Faithless Looting, Lava Dart. Does that make Spellbomb worthwhile? Maybe it does. Over, like, I think honestly Skyfishers just being more expensive and having to come down after an artifact is probably worse. I don't know. Really just trying to survive. If we survive, we win. We have a Duress turn 1, or we have a Surveillance Cam turn 2. That's like it. I mean, we can do both turn 2. You know, if they start with if they do like Rite of Flame into a 2-drop, it could be pretty bad. But if they don't, just start with the looting again. We play our bridge. Then they play their creature. Turn 2, I can Duress to get rid of protection, and then Cam to tap their guy. I think we keep... If they have the right draw, we can definitely just lose. Although I guess if they ritual out a creature on turn 1, I probably just go for Duress immediately to try to take a Temur Battle Rage or something. So we'll see about that. I would very much like to be able to play my blue-white source first, though. They don't do anything. All right. We even get a seat. That's nice in case they, like, cast this into the fire. We'll see if that's part of their plan. I feel like I might just get Lava Darted here or something. Nope, nothing at all. And they plot a robbery, taking it slow. I'm a fan. So do I Duress? I think I'd rather just get a Candy Trail down. I guess I could do both because the cam doesn't matter anymore unless they have a way to give it haste, which they could. Should probably play around haste. Let's go for a Candy Trail. Skyfisher doesn't do a ton, and Lotus Petal doesn't either. Let's put them both away and pass. We haven't seen any way for them to give haste, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're playing like a 1 or a 2 of. And I really don't want to lose to that just because I tap out. They go for a Morphos into a Robbery, discard a Lava Dart, and then there's the Crasher. So Blue Blast would be a real nice draw. Refurb's not bad. Let's start with the Duress. Double Battle Rage, Pyroblast, Kiln Fiend, Lava Dart. Jeez. Probably the Pyroblast. So that, yeah, I mean, because they've got double Temur Battle Rage. Pyroblast deals with our cam. Yeah, let's get rid of that. It's like, it's not the most insane hand ever, but it's pretty good. I could play a Monitor. They can't really get rid of that pre-combat. So they would have to use a Temur Battle Rage and like a Lava Dart on it. Yeah, let's do this. Leave up the cam. They're just going to play a Kiln Fiend. Yeah, that makes sense. Mountain, Bauble, perfect. That just deals with the Kiln Fiend. They don't have a way to pump its toughness. And I'm going to refurb. I mean, it just dies to a Lava Dart at some point, but that's fine. Eats 1 Teamer Battle Rage. We'll pass the turn. Forge Chanter. Pass. So we'll crack a Candy Trail. I think I want to crack this Bauble in the upkeep. Yeah, we still have Surveillance Cam. Let's do that. Envelop doesn't hit anything that we're seeing right now, so I think we get rid of that. Obviously, we get rid of the bridge, so we'll draw something else. A Vault of Whispers. Not great, but we'll pass here. Lava Dart, the Refurb. It's going down. Move to combat, I bet. We're going to tap the Crasher here, because otherwise they could make it like 5 power trample plus Lava Dart, and deal us a bunch, plus get through the monitor. Oh, they have protection with Apostle's Blessing. We might just be dead then. Well, yeah, because I can't block it. And I can go up to 1, 2, 3. That's 11. Yeah, I'm just dead. I mean, the duress was a couple turns ago, but the duress was specifically for any sort of protection, which we got the Pyroblast, which is good, but... Yep, double Lava Dart, and then we'll take 22 off this guy. Unfortunate. Didn't really have the greatest stuff coming up anyway. Alright, we will keep this one. It's very mana heavy, and I anticipate we'll draw more lands and then lose. But that doesn't mean it's a hand to throw back. Ooh, actually, I want to lead on the bridge, but Candy Trail's a pretty good draw. No, we'll still do the bridge. Pass the turn. We're probably against some Mono Red Madness or something here. Rakdos Madness? Yep, grab the prize. Another Cryogen. Well, we'll get one of those down. Enforcer. So next turn I can play land, Candy Trail, Monitor, Enforcer. That's pretty good. Faithless Looting. I assume there will be a Kitchen Imp here. Maybe an Alms of the Vein. Both. Luckily, they can only do one, so they gotta choose. And they go for the Kitchen Imp. Makes sense. It's the more reliable, well, every turn damage. So we'll take 2. They don't hit a land, though. That's pretty good for us. Okay. Another Candy Trail is also really good, because these, of course, I didn't really mention, but of course they gain life, so that's another reason to play these in this deck, is that it's another way to help hedge against the burn decks. Glinthawk Monitor sounds amazing. We will keep those both on top. So we're going to play a Monitor. I'm just going to play another Candy Trail because I don't care too much about the Scry. I'd rather just be able to use the mana and then have an Enforcer down. I could have played the Enforcer without the Candy Trail, but I'd rather just have the ability to get the gain life a little sooner if possible. So they pretty much have to kill Monitor here if they want to get in with the Imp. And if they don't, then they don't get in with the Imp. They plot a robbery. That's great. Plus we know what we're getting. Glinthawk into Utrom. So let's just do that. And we can even go on the offensive because we have 2 more blockers here. And I think the only way we could lose here is like just a whole bunch of direct damage. So I'm going to actually just crack a Candy Trail earlier than I probably would, because usually you want to keep your Affinity count high, and I'd rather have the Cryogen down in case I get like another Glinthawk. But here, since the only thing I'm worried about is a burn win, I'd rather just use the mana on the once they gain me life right away. Luckily for us, they're not even worried about burning us out at the moment. They're just trying to get our board under control. This is kind of what we were trying to do, right? It was our turn 4, and we're already attacking for a bunch. They have to spend 6 burn just to get in for 2 damage. But of course, they do also slow our clock down a little bit. There's also a Vampire's Kiss. We'll crack a Candy Trail. They're tapped out, so Refurb's not too bad. Swing for 2. Utrom is great. Let's go for a Relic to start. Hit them for 7. Refurb. I'm not even worried about them dealing me 14 damage in 1 turn. That seems very unlikely. So I'm just going to play a Monitor and a Bridge here and keep the pressure up on them. They Blood Token away an Alms of the Vein, so that's going to swap the life totals to be 11-11. Make a wish, guys. Bolts the Monitor. Swing with the Kitchen Imp. I could block. It's 9 damage. Yeah, I guess we block. I mean, we have the Cryogens to keep this tapped for basically forever. But the 2 life could be relevant, and yeah, they kill the Monitor. I still just have an Enforcer that kills them in a couple of turns. Spellbomb's pretty good. They have 2 Faithless Lootings in the yard. Let's crack a Candy Trail, go back up to 14. Ancient Den. We're just going to Spellbomb proactively. Get rid of those lootings. Draw a card. Play a Cryogen Relic. See if we get an Enforcer. No, but we'll swing for 4. Bunch of cards to draw next turn. They discard a Kitchen Imp. It's a good start from them to get back into this. Voldaren Epicure as well. That means they could swing with the Imp and then block with the Epicure if they want. Of course, anything they swing with, I can just keep tapped for 2 more turns, which is surely going to be the end of the game. Another Kitchen Imp. Okay. So yeah, I would assume they're going to swing with both of these, leave back the Epicure, of course, because they have to. We go to 9. Game is not over yet. Start with a Thoughtcast. Spellbomb is good. We'll keep a Kitchen Imp tapped. Lotus Petal is fine. Don't really need more mana, but it's better than a land. We'll swing for 4, and they will block. We'll keep the other Kitchen Imp tapped. Mirror Enforcer is a really good draw. Spell Bomb, Bridge, Lotus Petal, pass the turn. So now these guys are tapped and we have lethal on board. Oh, Epicure keeps them alive. Plus draws them a new card. If we can find like a Sewer Valence Cam or one of Cast Down, we can break through. Skyfisher. Let's just draw a card from the Spell Bomb. More lands. Swing. They'll block and go to 3. Skyfisher bounces Enforcer. Plays that and pass. I mean, we're in a very good spot. If they don't kill us here, we probably win. But they could theoretically kill us here. They bolt the Skyfisher. So if they draw like Faithless Looting into a total of 4 damage, they would win. They don't, luckily for us, but it was kind of close. All right, we get Blue Blasts, Envelops, Compass, maybe Macabre, even Duress is a maybe. So we have a million billion maybes, or to yeses. Get rid of a Cast Down. Surveillance Cam like is decent, and also could untap a guy they're not expecting to be able to block. Candy Trail gains life. Lotus Petal's about that speed. I think Duress is probably just worse Envelop, which is just worse Blue Blast most of the time, so let's just get rid of those. I think Macabre probably does a better job than Spell Bomb, because we didn't see any snackers there, but of course we could have. Compass is good life gain. This is another one where Cryogen feels less useful. The Lotus Petal, like, I think we do need to get off the ground quicker, so I think we keep those. Maybe we just cut. Let's try cutting all the relics. This isn't something I've done a ton of in previous matches, and, you know, we're trying to improve the deck, so maybe that's something I need to do a little bit more. Cam is still probably worse than just, like, Bauble, which kills the stuff, Candy Trail that draws us cards, etc. Maybe one Enforcer because it doesn't block everything else. All right, that's 8 cards. That's a lot. We'll see how this goes. I mean, I'm not bringing in anything that doesn't feel really good, so this one's not going to work. This is a better one-lander because we have a Compass, which makes mana of any color, and it's an untapped land, but I still think it's not going to work. We play this, and then they just like cast this into the fire, and we lose the game. Let's go to 5. Another one-lander. What did I do to deserve this? We're on the draw. I mean, this is not going to win us the game, but if I draw a 3rd land, then I can Thoughtcast on turn 2. I think we keep this, get rid of 2 of these. This hand is not going to win us the game, I will say. We do need to draw another land, and then ideally something to pick up the Glint Hawk. There's the land, but we have a Lotus Petal, which I could crack to stop a draw 2 immediately. But then we don't have blue for Thoughtcast. We don't have anything. I think we don't. Luckily, it appears they don't have much going on. All right, now I could Thoughtcast, but I am cracking my Lotus Petal for it. That's so bad. I think we're going to Glint Hawk, pick up the Lotus Petal just to get this on the board. And then I think we're going to Thoughtcast. And I'm going to hope they don't have a Pyro. Oh, this is not how you do it. You got to start casting it first. Then this will count for the Affinity. I feel like they're going to have a Pyroblast. Oh, they didn't. Okay. I figured this would hopefully find us more blue sources, which it did. And yeah, so it went all right. Faithless Looting. So no snackers this turn is nice. Kitchen Imp, Fiery Temper is pretty good. I assume Glint Hawk's going to die. Then the Imp comes out. Swing for 2. We get a Lotus Petal again. I mean, that gives us the ability to envelop something this turn. So we'll play the Glint Hawk again, just so I have a blocker. We'll envelop a draw 2, probably. It's kind of what it's there for. Flashback Faithless Looting. I think if this is their best play, then it's worth countering. I kind of wish that I had Macabred it now, but can't win them all. We will definitely block. Now, do I just play a Fairy Macabre as another blocker? Feels like they have all Madness stuff. I think so. I think they wanted to get another Fiery Temper off of that Faithless Looting to shoot this an attack, which means they might try to do that again, but maybe with a Grab the Prize or something this time. Or they're just going to have to hardcast. Oh, well, that's an Arms of Adar. Well, that's annoying. Give me a Thoughtcast into some other good stuff. That's a bridge. Grab the Prize, discarding a Looting. Flashback Looting. Discard 2 lands. Yeah, so they were just a bit flooded, it seems. Swing for 2. Well, looks like we're going to lose this one. And of course, I took out the Cryogen Relics. That would be like our best, other than Thoughtcast, it'd be our best draw now, just because it'd be something to use our mana and draw into some other stuff. But we also mulliganed to 5, so we lost 2 cards. We drew 2 Lotus Petals, which that's a detriment of the Lotus Petals, is that when we get them with mulligans, it's like really, really bad. So we're basically down 4 cards. And then we've drawn 6 lands, only 7 spells. So I think all of that together has contributed to the rough draw here. I'll play a Monitor, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to die. Or we're just going to die. Bolt us twice. Untap Fiery Temper. Grab the Prize with a Dark Withering. Alright, we are dead. Is there anything I want to change? I feel like it was just those bad draws. It wasn't really anything else. I will say we haven't seen a Snacker, which feels like they have to be running Snacker, but Fair Macabre's primarily good against Snacker. If it's just Faithless Lootings, I think I would prefer the Spell Bombs. Of course, the blocking is not irrelevant either, although Arms of Hadar is good to know about. We cut the cams too, which is also card draw, so we did cut a lot of our value in order to have like enforcers and stuff that we kind of like win with quickly. Let's try cutting the Macabres for the cams. Alright, this one's decent enough. Could definitely use another land, but we can hold up Blue Blast turn 2, then start refurbing, which is not the best thing ever, but Compass is pretty good just because it allows us to get our refurbs down, but I'm not going to do it now because then we wouldn't be holding up the Blue Blast, which is bad if they go for a Grab the Prize or if they go for like a Cast Into the Fire. I assume they'll plot a robbery though. Now they go for a looting. I think we're going to counter. Actually, no, we're not going to counter. I was thinking about it, but I'm going to probably play a refurb here. So if they tap out by playing a Kitchen Imp here, then it'll actually be better. Because if I refurb them and they cast the Kitchen Imp, then that's like not much better for us. Whereas here, we can actually get some value. Plus, we have blockers anyway, probably. Land would have been nice. The downside here is I think we need to just play a refurb to have a blocker and hit them when they're tapped, which means we're a little susceptible because no Blue Blast. But this also allows us to like double refurb and or monitor next turn. There are the Snackers, by the way. I knew there's no world where they weren't playing them. It was just that we weren't seeing them. So them coming back because we tapped out a Blue Blast is pretty bad. Grab the prize. Discarding a Bolt. They have a Carnarium. That's pretty good. Certainly trade here. Skyfisher. Well, let's refurb. No untapped land, otherwise I would definitely have like Skyfisher into refurb. Do I want to double refurb is the question, or get a Monitor down? Monitor blocks better, but chances are it just eats a Bolt. So I probably just want to double refurb while they're tapped out. They just used a Bolt, or discarded one rather. Yeah, make them discard a bunch. And they still have 4 cards in hand. They didn't discard that land, which probably means it's their only land. I guess if we get Arms of Hadar here, we're screwed. That'd be pretty bad. They discard a Kitchen Imp, which they can't cast. That would be another reason to really keep that swamp. Kind of what I'm expecting. Yep. That's really annoying. Would have been the reason to do a Monitor, because it wouldn't have died to that. Still wouldn't have been able to block effectively, but it would have, I still would have had a creature alive, and then I could refurb here or something. Play a Swamp. Go for a Faithless. I think that's going to try to play a Fiery Temper on this, which I could just counter that, but I think I want them to not draw at all. Although I guess technically that means they can still attack and then draw their cards post-combat. But I'm going to block the Kitchen Imp, so it wouldn't even matter if they attack, that is. No attacks is good. I wish that one of these was a Glint Hawk or something, or that I just had an untapped land, because I just can't pick up a land and like be able to play a Skyfisher. So we'll take it slow and just replay this Compass, which is not bad either, but I would love to get 2 Skyfishers out and then start bouncing the Compass a bunch. Just to have more blockers, of course. Because they could do like another Faithless Looting here with like a Dark Withering plus a Fiery Temper. Clear our guys. Swing for 6. Jagged Barrens. They are going to Fiery Temper hard cast on the Skyfisher. Or not the Skyfisher, the Monitor. We get the Glint Hawk. Look at that. Although the trouble they're having getting through here, I could play Glint Hawk and Skyfisher, but I guess now I do just want to keep picking up the Compass. Because the Glint Hawk doesn't even block as well, like it trades. So, I don't know. We'll do this. They grab the prize with a Kitchen Imp. It's pretty good. Hoping they don't draw more bolts or anything. And can't get through these. Vampire's Kiss. No attacks. Alright. We do need to draw something else, but this does keep us alive for now. Compass, Bridge. Would love to get like a Thought Cast next turn. Blood Token away, a Swamp. We're relatively stable, but I do feel like they have more advantage than us. Just like 3 cards versus our 1. They have a Blood Token to get through. Another card. Grab the prize, discarding a Looting. Take 2. They have a Bolt for a Skyfisher. Feels like if they have 1 more Bolt or Kill Spell, they might go for it and attack, but if not, it's pretty weak. They also go for the Kiss here. Yeah, they just pass. Bridge. Well, let's play a Glint Hawk. Gain a little bit more life. And we're going to show that we have nothing. They got 2 more blood tokens, so now they have, like, we're stable-ish, but I just feel like we're not drawing what we need to draw. And that's going to be problematic. I think this is why I've previously not cut the Cryogen Relics. It just feels like, even if it is slower, it's so integral. We're cutting our huge draw engine that it's really tough for us. I assume they're going to swing here. Yeah, because They just discard another snacker, so they get the snackers back. I mean, we get to kill Kitchen Imps, but I'm worried that they're going to have Arms of Vidar here to try to wipe our Skyfishers. Like, they've already used one, but I bet they definitely have two. So I could block like this and take 4 to preserve a Skyfisher. I think that's going to be what I do here. They can already get back the snackers, so it's just about blocking damage. And I don't really want to lose both our Skyfishers if they have an arms. And now if they want to spend 4 mana to kill one Skyfisher, I can live with that. They flashback looting. But of course, they're going to be able to attack with the snackers every single turn. And so I'm going to have to block at some point. They also have a Dark Withering here, so they are going to get rid of a Skyfisher. So maybe I just took damage unnecessarily, but maybe they've casted the fire, ping them each for 1. Yeah, okay. So we forced them to use this Dark Withering then, because otherwise if we had blocked, they would have gotten them. All right, we really need Thoughtcast into like double Utrom or Candy Trail plus Utrom. That's not it. That doesn't do anything at this point. We just died to Snackers. That's annoying. And look, that's a sideboard card that we're obviously bringing in, but that could have been like a Cryogen Relic that draws us into something else. They have a Duress. I can't even use the Blue Blast. We got a Glint Hawk. Feel like this is just delaying the inevitable. If it was a Skyfisher that survives a Snacker hit, maybe, but I know we already went through most of those. I think we'll just take it. We'll die to a Bolt. That's fine. Highway Robbery. Sack a land. Jagged Barrens. We're down to 2. They can't kill us from 2. Oh, look, a Compass. It doesn't matter. We're going to die. Definitely a bit annoying. I feel like if we sideboarded correctly, we could have won that, is kind of how I'm feeling. Like, it didn't feel like our deck failed us as much as we drew cards that didn't do as much as we wanted at the right times. So I'm thinking it's not necessarily like a deck error or a luck error as much as a skill and pilot error. So that's something I should reflect on, is like, oh, do we need different cards for the sideboard for this matchup, or did I just side in too many cards, maybe diluted the main game plan or something else? Because like, I don't know, Skyfisher picking up the Compass over and over and over was like cool at delaying the game, but it wasn't actually progressing us. And if we had a Cryogen Relic that we could choose, oh, do we want to gain 3 life or draw 2 cards, I probably would have chosen the Relic most of those times. I think that would have won us the game. So, like, probably shouldn't have taken out the relics. And this is, you know, I was testing something out, right? I usually say don't take out the relics, and was trying to see if that would work, and I think it did not. So, all right, this one looks decent. We have some interaction, some card selection and draw, and a Glint Hawk. Delver. Yeah, Fairy Seer. Okay. Something good to Grim Bauble. And actually, I think Bauble's so good against fairies. I'm guessing it's mono blue. Like, the waves of the Pauper metagame, especially on MTGO, just go so quickly. If this was 3 or 4 weeks ago, I would have assumed it was Dimir Fairies. But at this point, mono blue's been a little bit more prevalent the last couple of weeks. And because of that, I'm going to assume that's what they're playing. And Grim Bauble is so good against mono blue that I'm going to just pick that back up. I'll go for a Candy Trail here. We have our cast down if they want to try to spell stutter it. So let's just kill that. Our 1 of cast down. Mirror Enforcer and Thoughtcast. Perfect. Those both seem great. Let's swing for 2 and pass the turn. They have no land drop, and they just pass. All right. We'll Thoughtcast. They can't spell stutter this. Cryogen, they can't spell stutter that either. If they want to counter it, that's fine. But if not, I could Thoughtcast, or I could just play an Enforcer. I think I'd rather play the Enforcer. And I could swing with the Glint Hawk, but then they're already behind. If I let them get like a spell stutter in with a Ninja, could definitely help them get back into the driver's seat. Don't think the 2 damage is worth it, so let's just pass here. Now they have to decide if they want to flash in a spell stutter, knowing that they can't even get in with it, which they decide to do. At least can't get in with it unless they have, you know, a Harrier Strix or some other removal. But then, because we did that, we gave up 2 damage, but then we're forcing them to like use a different resource. Rather than life, they're using mana and or like ETB triggers. So, you know, it could be good. And they probably just flashed it out because they wanted to be able to have used their mana, seeing as they're not drawing what they want, not drawing lands. And now they can have a spell stutter for 2, so we got to play around that. But here's a Thoughtcast. They're going to counter that, which is pretty good for us. It just opens them up to getting Grim Baubled, getting an Enforcer in here. We get to attack for 6. We could even crack the Candy Trail. I probably should have, because I could have drawn a tap land, but that's okay. They have a Seer. Scry 2 to the top. Cryo Shatter. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Crack our Candy Trail. We got a land. It wasn't a tap land, but still could have played it. Swing for 6 here. I think I'm just going to flash in the cam now. Well, I shouldn't have tapped this. I should have untapped our Glinthawk, actually. Yeah, whatever. Because I just didn't want it to get spell stuttered. And now I can use it to tap their Fairy Seer, or I could actually go for the untap on the Glinthawk, which I probably will. So I guess if they forget how this works, maybe I can ambush them with the untap on the Glinthawk, which we will give a try. I mean, if they're playing a pretty up-to-date list, which Cryo Shatter suggests, then they probably have Cam as well, so they should know that this trick works, but this means they can't get a ninja in. They could Brine Barrow to keep their guy alive or something. That's totally fine. Again, they're using resources, and they're at 6 life, so they're in a bit of a pickle. Second Cryo Shatter on the Enforcer is pretty good. It's Cryogen to keep this Fairy Seer tapped. Refurbished Familiar. Make him discard a card. Play a Spell Bomb. Swing for 2. They have another Brine Barrow, so they can shrink the damage. Fair enough. Swing with the Intruders. I think we'll let them go. If they got a Ninja, that's fine, but I could actually just pick these up with Skyfishers or something. Cryo Shatter. Okay. Which would be pretty good. So we're going to go for a Grim Bauble, Surveil in the upkeep, Skyfisher, and Refurb. Those are pretty good. So Skyfisher. I didn't actually leave the mana, the white mana, to play the Glinthawk again. That was a bit of a mistake. If I had known that I was going to find the Skyfisher, or rather I should have planned to find the Skyfisher and then left up an extra white so that I could pick up the Glinthawk, which would then pick up this Mirror Enforcer so I could get that guy for free. But that's okay. We won. Shrivel and maybe Duress. We don't need Spell Bomb. Everything else is pretty good. I mean, I guess maybe Candy Trail isn't necessary just because it gets spell stuttered pretty easily. But I do like the card selection. Duress might not be that necessary. Let's just do the Shrivels. I think we're already very well set up against them. We have literally 16 flyers and some good interaction. We will keep this one. We got a couple flyers, the mana we want. We could get a little behind because they can get like a ninja on turn 2. Bobble off the top would be great, though. That's okay. I could play that to Sewer Valence Cam, tap this right away now, but then it gets spell stuttered, and that just doesn't feel very good. So let's not. Even after that last game, it looks like they kept a one-lander because they have 2 Fairy Seers to hopefully find stuff. They bottom lands again, or bottom cards again, I assume not lands. Refurb. Refurb is good, but I think for mana efficiency, let's just do Cryogen, because that allows me to next turn play, assuming nothing gets countered, Refurb, Monitor, Enforcer, and now second Enforcer. And they just go for Fairy Seers. I mean, they're just trying to find their lands, and scry 2 to the bottom. That's like 9 cards they've seen haven't hit a land drop, which is going to be pretty good for us when we play Refurb, Monitor, Enforcer, Enforcer. I think this might just draw out a concession pretty immediately. Oh, never mind. They find their land. Game is totally even now. They pass. I think we'll swing with everything but the Refurb. I don't really want to lose this to a Brine Barrow that quickly. If they want to throw 3 guys on a Monitor and then Brine Barrow, that's fine. They chump the Enforcer. Play a bridge and we'll just pass. Swing with the Seers. We will take it. And they go for a Ninja. Draw a card, play an island, and Cryo Shatter the Monitor. Let's crack the Relic on the Ninja to draw a card, and whenever it becomes tapped, yeah, I can untap it, but that doesn't do anything. Thoughtcast. Well, life is cruel. We can just pick up the Ultra Monitor with the Skyfisher, get rid of that Cryo Shatter, replay it, and pass the turn. All right, we win that one. Here we go. This hand looks pretty reasonable. We also have the Lotus Petal immediately, which is a change of pace. I could actually play Spellbomb, Seat, Lotus Petal, and immediately Refurb on turn 1. Now, I don't think that's as good as just playing pretty much everything in our hand on turn 2. Abundant Growth. So here we can play Lotus Petal, Refurb, make them discard a card. I assume it's Bogles or something. Play a Monitor and crack the Lotus Petal. We're just going for speed here. We're going to pick up the Seat. Value, we'd pick up the Refurb, but we have them on a 3-turn clock starting on turn 2. That's kind of crazy. Even if they are Bogles, it's going to be kind of tough for them to contend with this, ideally. They just have a Sprawl here. We get to attack for 7 on turn 3, remember. We draw tap land, so I can play a Spellbomb. Next turn I can crack double Spellbomb just to draw some new cards if I want. They have nothing going on. Well, if they are Bogles, I'm confused why they kept this hand, but we'll swing for 7, and then Skyfisher. We'll pick up the Familiar. It doesn't reduce our speed at all, so we might as well get the extra value. We have them dead next turn. I assume they discard another land because they're just like flooded here. Okay. Abundant Growth. And we win the game. So I don't know for sure if it's Bogles. Could be something else weird, but we're going to bring a Duress either way. Shrivel could be okay. We don't really have a great sideboard. I took out all the Thraben Charms from the main deck, which would be one of our main ways to kill them here. Spellbomb looks probably bad no matter what. Surveillance Cam wouldn't be tapping their guys. Could be untapping ours, I guess. Grim Bauble wouldn't kill their guys, if that's what we're assuming. I think we'll just do those and hope for the best. We have a pretty similar but almost better hand than last time. I guess our mana's a little bit worse because this Ancient Den doesn't actually cast any of our stuff here, but here's a bridge. Pass. We have a full house. Abundant Growth. I assume they're playing more cards in their deck than just Abundant Growths and Utopia Sprawls and Forests. There's the Bogle. All right. Rancor. We get another refurb. So I think we just double refurb them to take their cards to make their hand worse. Again, this Ancient Den is really screwing us up because I could play literally triple refurb if we had another black. I could play a monitor if we had another blue, but I think this seems decent. They kept one card, but didn't even discard any enchantments, so we'll see if it's like Ancestral Mask and really good. Malevolent Rumble finds Forest, Sprawl, Ledgewalker. Not really what they wanted, I would say. They choose the Utopia Sprawl. Interesting. Probably so that the Ethereal Armor's better. Trample First Strike's pretty good. Can't do much about that. I am going to die to it, I suppose. Glint Hawk. Yeah, Glint Hawk does not do enough here. We can pick up our Ancient Den, but that doesn't give us an extra mana that we can actually use. We could absolutely beat them to the punch here if we just had a Vault of Whispers instead. Sprawl, so we're going to take 8. We're at 5. Give me a land. Untapped, though. Let's see, because how much toughness do I need to put in front of this? At least 4, which is currently these two. So I could play a monitor, block with these two. We could deal them 7, but then I don't have lethal the following turn, which means we're going to die. So I think I have to refurb here and hope to draw a Seed of the Synod to be able to play a monitor, to be able to have enough toughness and power, etc. Candy Trail, well, that can maybe do something. Duress is no good. We don't need another monitor. So this, and this is 4 toughness. Or this and this is 4 toughness. So I can attack like this and survive. If they don't get a way to pump it. If they do, we'll die either way. I guess if they draw land, I can maybe survive by just playing like monitor, cracking Candy Trail, attacking. Armadillo Cloak is definitely going to kill us. I feel like our sideboard just doesn't catch what we want it to catch here, which is unfortunate because it's catching a lot of stuff. I don't know. This one, we can refurb them a bunch of times, but that's about it. Turn 2, then turn 3. I guess we'll give it a try. Hopefully they mulligan like twice. Nope. Pretty immediate keep, actually. Abundant Growth. Lotus Petal does actually help a little bit. It lets us double refurb them right here, so that's kind of cool. Discards 2 Malevolent Rumbles. No, they kept a 1-lander. Well, I guess that's one of the ways that we had to win. Pick up a refurb, play it again, pass. Discard Abundant Growth. Okay, I think they accidentally skipped through their turn then. They might not have even kept a 1-lander. They did say whoops. I just wasn't sure if it was for the keep or not. Bogle, Cartouche. We get to swing for 6, play a refurb, Ancient Den, and pass. They have First Strike, but if they only buff this a little bit, theoretically I could like cam to untap a Skyfisher. No, they got a Ethereal Armor and a Sprawl. 6. Didn't even attack with a Warrior. We'll take it. I'll flash this in, tap down their Warrior, just so I can crack it next turn if I want to. Swing with the team, and in case we draw another refurb, I guess we have a higher chance to draw a Glint Hawk. Let's crack this now and untap the Skyfisher. Draw 2, and we'll pass. If they get an Armadillo Cloak, they could actually survive here. And there's the Armadillo Cloak, so that's actually pretty bad. So they can attack for 9. I'm only dealing 8, which means we're probably going to lose now. Of course, we're pinched on blue mana for no good reason. I guess I need to draw like a couple Enforcers. Thoughtcast, refurb. They discard a card. Another Armadillo Cloak. They can trample for 5. So I got to leave back a couple of these guys. Another Bogle. Swing with the team. I have to trade a refurb here and jump here. We go to 1. This is why you can't play a white deck without Thraben Charm or Strands or something. Cryogen Relic. And we will lose. All right, we got a 2-3. Not great. I think that the Lotus Petal idea was interesting, and I don't think it was a complete failure. I will say we played a lot of really off-meta decks. Turbo Fog, Hot Dogs, and Bogles, which are extremely polarized matchups that are not generally what we're trying to target. So it's not unuseful data to know that, like, you know, we won or lost against them. And obviously we can maybe tune our sideboard. I do think we should have some ability to win against a Bogles matchup. So we should either get some Thraben Charms or maybe some Edicts or something in the 75 somewhere. Of course, this deck used to be Tithing Blade, right? So Tithing Blade used to be the best way, and we would have just crushed a Bogles matchup, but Tithing Blade against most everything else is not very good anymore. So maybe we need to put a couple into the sideboard. We will continue working with things, but I'm not sure this totally showed what we were trying to go for that well, because we didn't hit very many meta decks. Even like Rakdos Madness is like a lot more off meta than it used to be. So yeah, we'll keep tinkering with the deck and with the sideboard, and eventually I'm sure we'll figure something out. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks to my supporters. If you want to support me on a monthly basis, go ahead and check out my YouTube memberships, which allows you to get early access to my videos. Thanks to my current $10 and up supporters, Howard Granger, Halcaz, DJ Vinyl, Paladil C, Blackjack Davey, Max, Lucas Lage, and Heckboy. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.